It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across the USA and around the world, we are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. I don't want it to get cold now. Because yesterday it only went up to like 102 or 103.
Right.
And it was like, this is nice. It wasn't 110 or 111. I'm like, this is okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you turned off the air conditioning in here a little while ago. I'm like,
well,
76 is really cold.
That's the problem. It's going to get to that because next week, you and I, at the top of the hour, we are looking at the forecast for next week. We're going to get into the low 70s.
At night.
And over the past year, even air conditioning, which is normal for Texas, it's normal in December, is just sometimes feeling a little too chilly for me. And it's like, I don't know if I can get if we get to an ambient temperature of like 55, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to handle the cold well anymore. For some reason, over the last year, it's gotten worse. And it always happens. The older you get, your circulation slows down, and you don't tolerate the cold. And the heat, has been, my gosh. We've had above 100 temperatures, I'm pretty sure, since 1937.
What gets me is how your body becomes accustomed. Everything is relative.
Yeah.
For example, when it gets to be wintertime, it'll be 68 in my house.
Yeah.
And I'll be walking around in a sweatshirt, stuff like that. And I love it. I love when it's 68. The temperature in my house right now, and I go to sleep in it, 78. And if it gets to 76, like, this is too cold.
Yeah.
78 and put the ceiling fan on.
It's
perfect. And I can't believe it that there's such a wide range of temperatures that I like to sleep in, because during the winter I like to sleep 68 and I sleep great. But it's so hot outside that I think everything is sort of relative. Your body sort of adjusts, I think.
Well, it does. You acclimate, and then your circulation does change as you get older.
Maybe that's it, but I won't admit it.
Just kind of, I know, right? It can't be my age.
It can't be my age, no.
And we keep it about between 70 and 72, depending on what's going on. But that's where we keep it in the summer. In the winter, I rarely use my heat. We have a couple of the space heaters from Eden Pure, our great sponsor, and we use them around the house, and they're so efficient. But on top of that, we also don't like it really warm in the house. I don't turn my heater on unless we get to a point where we're going to get to a very good, solid, hard freeze. Then we turn the heater on.
Well, you know what happens to me is because all my windows face the southwest. So the sun is so low in the sky that the vast majority of the afternoon it's coming in.
Yeah.
And I open my windows and it heats the house like that in the wintertime. So I don't use my heat much either. So but little cooling's okay. 102, 103. I think it's supposed to be 102 today. That's going to be great. But I walked out yesterday afternoon. I went, well, this is wonderfully mild. It feels like fall. And growing up, when you grow up in Buffalo, that's just a weird thing that you walk out and it's 102 and you're like, I sense the sun's a little bit, the sun's changed position. It is fallish out here.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're having summer there. I talked to Dad yesterday and it was, I don't know, like 1, 2 in the afternoon. I said, what's your temperature? He goes, 71. It's like,
71.
Man. They've had a very cold summer.
It's weird. I saw a meteorologist online line out what was going on in that separation of what's going on in the Northeast versus what's going on with a lot of us that have been under this heat dome. It seems like since 1937. It's been going on forever. And, I do like the heat. I like the warmer temperatures, but I am right now. I watched something. It was I think a preview for a movie or something yesterday, and it had this pouring rain. I thought, just one day of pouring rain or just some rain would be great right now.
Came up
in our area.
Came up in my Facebook memories from last year. Yesterday, last year, we were getting up to 3 inches an hour of rain.
Yeah. Wow.
And I saw the radar from last year. I'm like, can we just get for 1 hour 3 inches of rain like that?
Well, and then you look at the people, our friends in California, that have been dealing with Hillary and the storm, to be clear, and it's just, I mean, it's. Did you see the what was it, Dodger Stadium?
Dodger Stadium, yeah.
Whoa,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it looks like the parking lots were quite flooded there.
Yeah,
insane. Yeah, some of the flooding there was pretty unbelievable.
And then I heard this, and I think it is historically true. But if we have a strong El Nino in the winter, then we typically have a winter or a wetter winter with lower temperatures lower than normal.
Yeah, I saw the official Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah. If that's true, then we're going to be at that point in February of going, okay, enough rain, and we'd like some sunlight and some warmth.
You know what the Farmer's Almanac said? It might be colder and a little bit more rainy, and expected there could be a snowstorm in late January. Well, that's normal. That's what we always get. I mean,
that's right.
That or February. Normally it's, I don't know why it's.
Between mid-January and mid-February, typically.
That's when we always get it. You would think that we would get it, I don't know, something, not that we don't because we've gotten the ice storms, but it seems like more of the snow usually comes in, between January and February, late January, early February.
I saw one prediction that showed but it wouldn't be in the fall. It wouldn't be until we get closer to winter actually kicking in, which is, after mid-December. I mean, December 20th or 21st officially. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to need some cooler temps before then. But we're losing a lot of daylight right now in the Northern Hemisphere. Over the next, 15 days or so, I was telling you during the break, I actually measured it. We're going to lose about 27 minutes of daylight a day.
Not a day.
We'll
you by September 6th, we'll lose it.
Yeah. Over the next 15 days, we're going to. Did I say a day?
A day, yeah. You said 27 minutes
a day. A daylight, total between now and then. Sorry. And that's the thing that I don't like. I'd like the sun. I just don't want all that, over the top heat from it. I like it to be, frankly, I'd like more like some of the areas of California have year-round.
Well, every year, though, starting really around the middle of August, when it normally gets very hot, I do a complete cleaning of the entire house. And I mean baseboards and everything. So that's all I did yesterday, and for the last week, that's what I've been doing. And I always do it because it's normally so hot, there's nothing you can do. Mm-hmm. Even my golf instructor, where you been? I'm not hitting golf balls when it's 109 outside. Next week, it was supposed to get to 90. Those are 96, 97. I'll get out at 10 in the morning then when it's still in the 80s. But we got the other day it was like 11:15 in the morning, and talking to my dad, he said, "What's the temperature?" I'm like 101. He goes, "It's not even noon there." I went, "I know."
Yeah,
it's like
crazy
because I get up about 10 o'clock. I'm not going to go take a lesson then when it's already in the hundreds.
Yeah, you got to get it done early. Whatever you're going to do, you got to get it done early.
Yeah, so that's why, like I said, it's all outdoor work. And then the grass it's been so hot, the grass has not been growing fast.
No.
So I've been cutting my lawn like once every 10 days. So I'll probably do it tomorrow morning or Friday morning early.
Yeah,
I probably
I'm trying to decide.
Probably could wait till Saturday and do it 8 in the morning.
I'm trying to decide because that's the same thing. It's like, and I don't mind it looking even a little bit shaggy because when you cut it, you're exposing again more of the more of it to more of the heat, more of the sunlight.
Yeah, I have southern Bermuda, and when you cut it, even though I cut it very high, you can see the damage. Like
exactly,
the top part of the grass will turn brown.
Yeah,
even though it's not dying, it looks like it is, but the beneath it, but it's just damaging. The shock of the propeller hitting the grass blade. It's so incredibly hot. And the thing is, too, I may wait till Saturday and do it at 8 o'clock, and it's like, won't you wake up your neighbors? No. They're all out cutting their lawn, too, at 8 o'clock in the morning.
When I go out at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, it's like I'm late. As because I think sunrise is just before 7 o'clock right now in our area. And I go out, and my neighbors are already out there working. Yeah. I may do something. I may do a couple of things this morning. But I've been doing the same thing. It's about a 10-day schedule. And if you keep it higher, it doesn't require as much water. And I'm okay with it looking the way it looks now. You can't really tell from the street at all. I can tell.
No, you can't. Yeah.
But I try to not apply my own standard to it. It's like, yeah, but the part up here by the garden is looking a little. Yeah, it's much better to just let it go a little bit and not have to use as much water.
You don't want to have LBS lawn.
Yeah.
What was it called? Lawn obsession.
Yeah. Disorder.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, disorder.
Yeah,
LOD.
I already have that.
LOD.
Yeah. I already have that.
I get it.
I already have it.
I have it for edging. That came from my mother, though.
Yeah.
The edging has to be, especially the corners.
Mm-hmm.
But I have an electric.
Don't round those corners.
Oh,
do not round those corners.
Thing is, I'll never forget, my mom cut the lawn. There was no problem when I was a kid cutting the lawn.
Yeah.
And then she'd say, I want you to edge it. Now, there were no, you had the hand edger. You pushed it.
Yeah.
And she'd go along the sidewalk. Now there's a couple of blades of grass over the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I'd have to redo it again. So I despised her as a teenager for that.
You let your lawn grow like a hippie.
No, just the opposite. That obsession stayed with her son. When I first bought my house, there I was in the lawn, and first time I edged it, and it was perfect. I mean, and the corners, I actually took a picture and sent it to my mom saying, see what you did to me. See what you did to me.
Mine started with base housing because I started mowing lawns, to make a little money.
I did the same thing.
And then my dad thought, well, you can also do it now that I know you can accomplish that by yourself, feel free. Dang it.
One of the biggest disappointments of my life. A great lesson of the family responsibility was when, we did our chores and got a small allowance. I don't remember what it was, but if we did our chores.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I got the paper out, my brother and I got paper out and said, good, we don't have to do the chores any longer. Oh, no.
Oh, no, it just made your day longer.
No, it's like, so I've got to do the paper route, and then I have to do the lawn too, and I don't get an allowance anymore? Well, yeah.
There was nothing.
Welcome to family responsibility, Gary.
With paper routes, there was nothing like still being in bed and hearing that thud of the papers being delivered to you, the big bundle in front of your house, and realizing you're not already awake to run out and grab that.
You did the morning. I did. We had the afternoon.
I did. It was brutal.
We did the afternoon after school.
Yeah. We didn't have an evening edition, unfortunately.
We had, because my brother and I shared it, 110 houses.
Yeah, this was after we moved off base in Del Rio, and it was only a morning edition.
Yeah, we had the big wagon that we pulled with all the newspapers in, and then I think I'm trying to think. Did they have a Sunday edition, or was it the Saturday night edition? Because there were two papers at the time. I think one was a Saturday night edition. They didn't print on Sunday.
Yeah.
Then there was a Sunday morning edition from the other newspaper. But the Saturday night edition with all the ads, you had 100 and 10 of those.
Oh, man. The inserts?
just how thick the entire paper was with the inserts.
Yeah, and then try and put a bag on that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to rain. It doesn't matter if it's not going to rain. Remember, rubber band or plastic bag, right?
Yes.
Rubber band if it wasn't going to rain.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, well, you threw it over to Mr. Jones' house and his sprinkler came on. You didn't put it in a bag.
We actually went up and set it in the doorway or opened up the screen door. Most people had the screen doors that they could put the glass in. You dump it in there. More often than actually you wouldn't throw them.
We had to get it. We did throw them, but we had to get it close. You could not get it out by the street. Had to be up close, fairly close to the door. Don't make them work for it. And then you had to go collect. There was no auto payment. Yeah. You got to go collect.
You remember that? I almost forgot about the collecting. Yeah.
Can I write a check? Yes, you can write a check for the $7.
I forgot about that. We were 13, 14-year-old business people, weren't we, back then? Exactly. Right. And bill collectors at the same time.
Right.
866-90 Red Eye.
Another heat wave in the Plains and Midwest.
This is a tough heat wave with triple-digit temperatures extending northward all the way through much of the Great Plains, except near the Canadian border, all the way into the western Corn Belt.
Means increased crop concerns, according to USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey.
Pretty late in the season for summer crops, but we do have some vulnerability for any filling corn and soybeans and other immature summer crops.
Yet he says relief is on the way starting Friday.
A rather strong cold front will start working its way across the northern United States. By the time we get into the early part of the weekend, we'll start seeing relief in the southern part of the Corn Belt, getting those temperatures mostly back below 90 degrees by Saturday. And then as we finish off the weekend and move into Sunday, we're actually looking at very autumnal conditions across the northern plains into the Midwest, with temperatures in a lot of areas below 80 degrees. Low overnight temperatures could dip into the 40s and 50s.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report is made possible by Cenex Roadmaster XL Premium Diesel and Citgo Lubricants.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90 Red Eye.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. You know, thinking about the debate tonight, the first debate for the Republicans, and we always hear, well, we need to know what people do, you know, if they become president, you know, where they stand on all the issues. But when you think about it, not all of it is about running for president. I saw where Ramaswamy said he's going to go after DeSantis. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that Tim Scott, because he hit DeSantis again on the whole Florida race curriculum, where he said that DeSantis agrees with Kamala Harris, which again is BS. We all know it. Yeah, not the same. Yeah. They don't agree on it, and we know that Nikki Haley has gone after him already. Interesting article from Charles Cooks talking about those three, saying they're not running for president; they're running for a vice presidential shot or a cabinet shot. Yeah. They know they can't win. And so that's what they're doing. Now, Christie believes probably that he can win. He may be the one going after Trump. But if you have there's a couple of things here. First off, if you look at Chris Christie, do you try to knock off the guy who has, for the most part, been in second place the most time and try to get some of his? Do all of them view it as impossible to whittle away at Trump right now? And so will they view that it's the right time to go after DeSantis? Now, if you want a vice presidential slot, if you're a Nikki Haley or if you're a Tim Scott, well, then you go after DeSantis because you want to look good for Donald Trump.
Yeah, right.
And if you want a cabinet spot, Ramaswamy, probably.
Yeah.
Well, then you do the same thing because he's already told his allies he's going after Ron DeSantis tonight.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And I'm Gary McNamara along with Eric Harley. Good morning. So the debate tonight, and so I have a feeling that you're going to have at least three, and that would be Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, and Ramaswamy. If you're going to ask me for my predictions, who's most likely to go after DeSantis, it would be those three. Probably Chris Christie might, do the same as to the others. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I just wonder if any of them believe that right now is the time to attack Trump or whittle away at DeSantis and hope to start moving up into the polls second or third. Or your only goal is you wish to be Trump's vice president, and so you're going to attack and viciously attack DeSantis because your goal is not to move up. Your goal is to give a good impression to Trump, to hopefully be a vice presidential candidate or his vice presidential running mate or on the cabinet. I don't know why Tim Scott would want that.
Because
he would have a future some other time. I would not.
Well, if you are not worried about ever being president, then I don't know the point of being a cabinet member, except for, all right, it gets you a place on the board of directors of whatever company or any company for life, which you probably can already get if you're a Tim Scott as a former senator. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the goal is, because it isn't going to be the case where you're going to be a cabinet member and then you're going to run for president. That you might run, but you're carrying a lot of baggage from whoever you served under. It doesn't matter who you serve under. And do you actually want to do that? Having said that, Hillary did it as Secretary of State. She didn't do it successfully. And can it be done successfully is the question, I guess. And is that the goal? I mean, well, I just want the prominence. I want to be part of an administration and then one day have, a shot at the White House. I don't know.
There's one headline I saw yesterday. Ramaswamy tells allies that he'll go after Trump.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He'll go after DeSantis.
Yeah.
Not Trump. DeSantis. Because I look at it and you say, all right, so you want to whittle away at DeSantis a couple of points.
Yeah.
You don't believe you can whittle away 10% of Trump's points.
Right.
Then when do you go after him? You eventually have to go, unless, like I said, if you're running for president, I think you have to find a way to attack Trump and DeSantis at the same time on different issues. I think that, Tim Scott comparing on Florida's history curriculum, comparing DeSantis to Kamala Harris is a weak argument.
Yeah.
To me it's almost like Trump going after DeSantis and saying that New York did a better job of COVID than Florida.
Right.
Same thing. Nobody's going to buy it. You only do something like that because you're attempting to
brand them in a way.
Brand him as a liberal, and therefore, why would Tim Scott be doing that? Well, does he wish to be Trump's vice president? Therefore, he's trying to get on Trump's good side, would be the question that you have. And again, this is all speculation and source stories about what each candidate plans on doing and what their eventual goals are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, because this is where it came down to, and I think it was, I forgot who wrote it yesterday that wrote the whole article about saying, look, Tim Scott knows he can't win. Nikki Haley knows she can't win. Ramaswamy knows they can't win. They're there for just one purpose, and that's for a vice president or cabinet job. That's it. do they actually think that way? Or does every candidate, remember when they had the the two-tier primary debates? You'd be on the upper tier or the lower tier, and they had two debates.
Yeah.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, the kids' table and the adults' table.
Right. Did every one of those candidates actually believe that they had a chance of being president? Does Chris Christie really feel like that? Does he really believe, because he said, I'll be the nominee, does he really believe that?
Here's the other question. If not, does he really believe that he'll convince people of that and change the polls simply by repeating that? It's not going to get you there.
The only thing I could think of for most, if you're outside of DeSantis or Christie, and I say Christie in a second tier to DeSantis, unless you're one of those two, the only thing you have to be thinking of, I have a chance if Trump drops out.
Well, I have a chance if Trump drops out, and I have a chance when, if that happens, and when the others drop out. I'm going to clear the way, and then my numbers will automatically, by default, jump up if Trump is out, and then I can go head-to-head with DeSantis. That has to be the thinking. And
so what you're saying
is,
I
have the political clout to get it done. I don't know what his war chest looks like. I don't know what any of them. I mean, we know DeSantis and Trump, have healthy war chests, but even DeSantis is blowing through some money. He's blowing through money like campaign managers. Like he's blowing through campaign managers. But those are the things you look at. It is who has the ability. I don't want to discount Chris Christie's ability to raise money in certain states. Soft Republican states, and by soft Republican I mean, well, in certain states, a Republican in that state is not your Republican in Oklahoma or Texas. And there could be some fundraising going on, that where he's successful. Look, John McCain became the nominee in 2008. Mitt Romney in 2012. So
think about this. Newt Gingrich could not stand up to Mitt Romney.
Exactly.
Because that's what it comes down to.
No, that's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Right. No, that's absolutely it.
And so when you witnessed a Newt Gingrich in the mid-'90s as speaker, and then you realized roughly, that would have been 16 years later, where there he is running for president, and he can't match Mitt Romney.
Yeah. Wow.
That even Tim Allen said, no, Romney, he is a robot.
Yeah.
But
Tim Allen agrees with Eric.
No, but it just shows you never know what's going to happen in one of these things. You never know what's going to happen in one of the debates. Here's a question. You eventually have to start attacking Trump. When do you do it? Because I know one of the things that they're thinking is, maybe they're not. Here's what I'd be thinking. If I attack Trump now, will people get on my case because he's not there to defend himself? I know it's stupid, but but so much of politics is about likability, feelings, whether you like it or not. That's why you've got these independents, a week away from the election during the final debate going, well, I'm really not sure whether I would like to vote for, Bernie Sanders or Ron Paul. They're so much alike.
Well, it's, there's the thing is that I also think the question is, because you have to tread lightly, you're going to need Trump's base on board with you if you became the nominee. In order to get there, you're going to need his base on board. In order to beat him, you have to convert Trump's base.
So is the only argument he's afraid to debate us, that's why he didn't show up? Or eventual argument that I wouldn't bring up right now, but later on, in probably in a future debate, he can't win. Whether you love him or hate him, he can't win. That seems to be the debate that
and that's
exists
it.
everywhere.
And maybe in this first debate, it is more of, I can win. You're not saying Trump can't win. You're just saying, I believe I can beat Joe Biden. You just say it that way. You could, if you're DeSantis, I believe I can beat Joe Biden or the current governor of California. and
now, by the way, that would get a great applause line.
No, I think that I would be shocked if someone doesn't bring it up tonight. And because I think that there's going to be talk about, look, everybody knows it. It's going to be the obvious. Everybody knows it. He's not going to live up to running a full campaign. It doesn't matter what they say,
right.
and then they're going to bring up Newsom's name, I'm sure. But those are the things I think, and maybe that is the approach. Look, they're going to. Maybe you let Chris Christie be the big attack dog this time. And you throw out some things and say, well, I disagree with Mr. Trump, but you don't go full on just yet. You're going to, because, again, in order for you to get the nomination, it requires you to convert his base.
Okay, one more question here. Even though Republicans choose Trump over DeSantis, Trump's favorability ratings, depending on the polls, are just as good or better than Trump's, which means Republicans really like him. If you attempt to make the absurd argument that even every Trump supporter knows was BS, as Trump said, that that New York handled COVID better than Florida, if they try that, does that work against them? Because DeSantis, it's just viewed that he hasn't done a great job marketing himself. Nobody is doubting his political street cred for what he's done in Florida. No one.
Right.
And if you do, most Republicans say, no, that's gone too far. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Look, DeSantis still gets high ratings as governor. He still has widespread approval.
And he's got great favorability ratings with Republicans in general. It's just they choose Trump over him for president.
And it really is right now about winnability. It's not electability because we know he's electable. It's winnability. And you're going to have to say on that stage at some point, I can beat Joe Biden. I can beat Gavin Newsom.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Well, since both you and I believe that doing the predictions for, like, the NFL are stupid, let's do the prediction. Who do you think will come out as the winner? Because I always pick the winner. Who do you think will be the winner tonight? I have no idea, but I'll take a shot at it.
The sound bites will probably go to Ramaswamy and DeSantis. But actually, okay. Well, soundbite is a big word because a negative soundbite, it could be a Chris Christie. He's going to try and get the gotcha soundbite. He's going to try and get the one that gets into the CNN circulation of playing over and over again. He wants to be in that rotation of going after Trump. So in terms of sound bites, it might be Chris Christie because he's probably going to be the attack dog against Trump tonight, which is not a huge prediction.
Again, I'm going to say because who won?
Yeah.
I may have a different opinion.
Yeah.
But I would say the media will probably pick Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy, if you're going to look on ideas and being able to convey an idea, I think he's the winner of the debate. But who gets more sound bites? I guess we'll see. I'm guessing Chris Christie. We'll see.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.